Picture this. I am walking through a crowded department store feeling impossibly competent. My shopping cart is gliding smoothly. My list is mentally checked off. I am a portrait of graceful efficiency. Then, without any warning, my shoulder decides to introduce itself to a very stoic mannequin in seasonal activewear. The resulting thwack is just loud enough to turn a few heads. I freeze for a split second, a silent standoff with a plastic person. The mannequin seems entirely unbothered. I straighten my shirt and keep walking with the unearned confidence of someone who totally meant to do that. That, my friends, is what I like to call an MS Oops moment. They are the small, unscripted, and often very public scenes that come with this particular neurological gig. They are the moments that make strangers look twice, that make you want to melt into the floor, but that eventually, mercifully, teach you how to laugh at the sheer absurdity of it all. It's like my body has its own private improv troupe, and they love to perform at the most inconvenient times. Living with MS means accepting that your daily life might come with a few surprise physical gags you didn't write into the script. My body and brain are in a long-term, complicated relationship where the communication is frequently garbled. My feet sometimes forget their primary function is to stay under me, leading to spontaneous lunges. My hands will suddenly decide that holding onto a full cup of coffee is a suggestion, not a command. And my brain will sometimes lose a perfectly simple word mid-sentence, leaving me grasping for a synonym like I'm on a game show. My first story takes place in a cozy coffee shop. I was having a genuinely good day, feeling strong and steady. I just paid for my latte, a beautiful creation with a delicate foam heart on top. I turned from the counter, holding my precious cup like a trophy, and took exactly one step. In that single motion, my ankle gave out and my balance left the building. I didn't crash, but my body executed a wild, flailing wobble, a desperate one-person tango. The coffee sloshed violently, but by some miracle, only a few drops escaped. A kind stranger rushed to steady me. I just grinned and said, "Just practicing my new dance move." The lesson was clear. My body's reliability can be fleeting. It was a reminder to be more mindful and maybe keep one hand on a stable surface. More importantly, it taught me that people are generally kind. Accepting a steadying hand isn't weakness. It's a moment of shared humanity. So why did my ankle suddenly forget its one job? It's not just simple clumsiness. There's a fascinating neurological process at play. This particular brand of MS mischief is often due to a problem with something called proprioception. Proprioception? It's a big, sciencey word for a very simple concept. Your body's internal sense of where it is in space. It's the system that allows you to walk without staring at your feet. It lets you touch your nose with your eyes closed. It helps you know how much force to use when picking up an egg. Versus a bowling ball, it's your body's built-in GPS. With multiple sclerosis, the protective coating around nerve fibers called myelin gets damaged. This creates scarring or lesions that disrupt the signals traveling between your brain and the rest of your body. Think of it like having a faulty internet connection. The message from your feet telling your brain, "Hey, we're on a slightly uneven patch of tile," might arrive late, might get garbled, or might not get delivered at all. When that signal is compromised, your brain doesn't have the right information to make the tiny, instantaneous adjustments needed to keep you upright. This is why a perfectly flat floor can suddenly feel like a rocky hillside. It's why stepping off a curb can feel like jumping off a cliff. It's why standing still with your eyes closed can make you feel like you're on the deck of a ship in a storm. Your brain is essentially guessing where your limbs are, and sometimes it guesses wrong. That's when you get the wobble, the stumble, or the spontaneous lunge to the side. It's not a failure of your muscles, but a failure of the information they're receiving. I'm not just clumsy, my proprioceptive feedback loop is buffering. The vanishing word fiasco, when nouns go on vacation. My second story is a cognitive one, a public oops not with my body, but with my brain. I was on a video call with one of my best friends, deep in one of those meandering, silly conversations. We were laughing about a mutual acquaintance's terrible cooking, and I launched into a story about a potluck disaster from years ago. I was at the climax of my tale, describing how I had to discreetly dispose of a truly horrifying casserole. I went to say the key word, the tool I used for the job, and nothing. The word was just gone. I could picture the object perfectly. Long handle, big spoon part at the end, it's used for soup. But the name was locked in a vault. Trying to recover, I stammered, so I scooped it out with the soup spoon? No, that's not it. The soup shovel. My friend stared at me for a beat, her face a perfect mask of confusion, and then she burst out laughing. It was one of those deep, can't-breathe, tears streaming down your face laughs. The more we said it, the funnier it became. Later that night, long after we'd hung up, the word floated back into my consciousness as if it had never left. Ladle. Of course, a ladle. It was such a simple, common word, and for a solid minute, it had been a complete mystery to me. The lesson here was one of gentle self-forgiveness. My brain is going to have these little short circuits, and getting frustrated or embarrassed only makes it worse. Sometimes the best thing you can do is just roll with it, invent a new, funnier word. That vanishing word fiasco is a classic example of a symptom many of us with MS know all too well. Cognitive fog, or, Cog Fog. It's not about a loss of intelligence, it's a direct result of how MS affects the brain. Just like the disease can disrupt the signals going to your muscles, it can also play havoc with neural pathways responsible for cognitive functions like memory, word retrieval, processing speed. It's the mental equivalent of walking through deep mud. Think of your brain as a massive, bustling city with an intricate highway system. For a thought to form or a memory to be recalled, information needs to travel quickly and efficiently. In a brain affected by MS, some of those highways have potholes, roadblocks, detours due to myelin damage. A signal that should be a direct high-speed trip might have to take a slow, winding back road. That's why a word on the tip of your tongue can feel miles away, or you might walk into a room and forget your purpose. This slowing of processing creates that fogginess. On the outside, you look fine, but inside there's a traffic jam which can lead to self-criticism and feeling like you're not trying hard enough. Learning the mechanics of cog fog was liberating for me. I'm not lazy or stupid. My brain is working harder to complete tasks that used to be effortless. My final tale of public humiliation took place where silence is golden. The public library. I spotted a book I wanted, reached for it, but my fingers lost their grip. The hefty hardcover hit the linoleum with a thunderous whomp. Every head snapped my way. My face went hot. I bent to retrieve it, and my oversized duffel bag swung forward, spilling its entire contents. Pens, crumpled receipts, a rogue packet of hot sauce, and 1,000 sticky notes. The silence that followed felt louder than the crash. Then, a small miracle. A little kid let out a loud giggle. As I frantically gathered things, someone whispered, "It happens to the best of us." A child's giggle and a stranger's smile were connection, not mockery. A little chaos doesn't have to be a catastrophe. This wasn't just a fluke. It's a common experience rooted in the way MS can affect motor control. When MS disrupts signals, your hands can feel like they belong to someone else. The nerves that control my hands seem to run out of battery life much faster than they should. These public oops moments, as mortifying as they can feel, have an unexpected silver lining. They can be tools for connection. For every person who stares often, someone offers a quiet smile or a helping hand. I once knocked over a display of travel brochures in a hotel lobby. A woman rushed over to help.
She said, "My husband has MS. His specialty is walking into door frames."
Embarrassment vanished, replaced by relief and camaraderie. When my leg starts to drag or balance wavers, I say, "Don't mind me, my operating system is still running on Windows 95 today." It almost always gets a smile. Finding a community is like finding a secret club. If this made you feel seen or made you laugh, hit subscribe and like. It helps more folks find this. We post real stories, real science, and real laughs every week. Join our crew. Your oops moments are welcome here. And drop your soup shovel moments below so we can laugh together. In the end, I've learned to think of my MS symptoms as a slightly eccentric and unpredictable co-author of my life story. They add plot twists I never would have written for myself, but these twists often lead to the most interesting chapters. They force me to be more present, more resourceful, and infinitely more compassionate with myself. They have given me a stockpile of ridiculous anecdotes and a finely tuned appreciation for the absurdity of the human body. Every stumble, every dropped fork, every forgotten word is a reminder that perfection is a myth. So yes, every outing comes with the potential for a plot twist. But maybe that's not a curse. Maybe it's a gift. A plot twist is a chance to be brave in a small way. It's an opportunity to meet a kind stranger, make a friend laugh. It's a lesson in how to fall, both literally and figuratively, and get back up with a grin and a good story to tell. My life may not always be graceful, but it is certainly never ever boring. MS doesn't get to take my sense of humor. In fact, it has made it sharper.